Good morning, everyone. It's Ravegal. We are continuing our Elden Run ring, and we're going to be heading down here towards this cave on the coast to continue with Buck the Seamster's quest. So, last time I was looking around for a knight that I couldn't find. And one of the things that I wanted to start out by mentioning was apparently there are two artist shacks, which is part of the reason that this one is labeled as. So there's this one, and then there's another one in a region to the north. So we actually can't get the item I was looking for quite yet, which is unfortunate, but we can still get it technically before we go into the castle. I would like to continue this, some of the other quest lines first, however. So I think we're going to be going into the castle without some of the tools that I would have liked to have. Technically, there are ways that I could get access to some of variations on some of those tools. However, honestly, they feel kind of cheesy, and I'm not sure how I feel about using them. So if I do end up going that route, it's only going to be if I can't get through the early parts of the castle and until I find something else. Okay. So there's a giant down here along the beach. Actually, he wasn't along the beach. He was further up that way. Giants are great sources of runes early game, but I don't feel like we're quite at giant fighting strength yet. Could probably take them, but I don't trust it, and I don't have a Sight of Grace right here. We're also seeing some of these tentacle monster guys. Oh, there is a Sight of Grace down here. Awesome. Okay, so we're going to get this Sight of Grace, and then we'll use that to try a couple of these tentacle fights. They're what are they? Land octopi, I believe is what they're called. They are. Wait, that's not a Sight of Grace. I'm sad. Okay. Let's go ahead. We'll still give it a go, but I'm not super confident. Oh, grew a limb back. Let's get our stamina back here. And we get the crit. Awesome. That was unpleasant. Well, we tried. Our runes are low enough that I figured it was worth trying, and they're not that bad. We almost killed one. Um, if we had a little bit of ranged attack going, I feel like we would be fine. So I'm thinking we'll come back in a bit. There's a part of me that still wants to try this giant fight just to see where we're at, but after that one, like, those are both things that I know I can do. I am not super worried about my ability to do them. I just don't have the patience to do them well all the time. And if I had a little bit more power, I'd be fine. So we'll wait until we have a little bit more power. Besides, Bach needs us. Okay, so we're going to continue down here to the coastal cave instead of messing around with these guys. Once again, still not 100% sure this is the best plan, but that's okay. There is a boss down here, which is part of my concern, but I'm hoping, because with that we'll at least have our spirit summon, that we'll be okay.
What do you need? I don't want any trouble.
Another wandering merchant. Don't think we need anything right now from him. I am gonna go ahead and trade these runes for smithing stones.
Done? Well,
Oh, I thought we were up to the cave. That wasn't the cave. Must be down a little further. So we can quickly get back up using these points here. We'll definitely be using that later. Where? So with skeletons, you have to kill them, and then while they're on the ground, hit them one more time. Okay. I could have sworn this cave was right down here. Did I go too far? It's before the merchant. Shame I don't have a map or something. Actually, it's probably right about where those guys were. There we go. Oh, I don't have a torch, do I? Well, that might make this more interesting. Actually, this is a perfect time to use not that. Uh, no. Do the thing. There we go. Oh.
Oh, what are you doing here? You must leave this place at once. They'll rush in and beat you to a pulp. You'll end up just like me. Oh.
So one of the nice things with these messages and the bloodstains left behind from other players is we can get an idea of where things come from, where we're going to get attacked. Sometimes they're helpful, sometimes they're not. Once again, this would be a little bit safer with a lantern. That's okay, we'll get through. We're almost through the dark part at least. Sure. I am not going to complain. About getting a little bit more help for our first boss fight. So Old Knight Istvan is a cooperator summon, and the wolves are our spirit summon. You can see here we are definitely using the numbers to our advantage. One down. We are just about out of... Actually, we are now out of potions, so we need to make this count. We're down one wolf. Let's get our stamina back, and then move in. There we go. And we recover the tailoring tools and the sewing needle. And Istvan is going to go back to his home from there. So, boss fights can be tough. Obviously, those enemies are big, they have lots of health, and they hit pretty hard. But we do often get some sort of advantages in the process of fighting them as well. They tend to have very telegraphed moves. Utilizing shields and dodging goes a long way with them. And we tend to be able to either invite cooperators, and almost always we can at least invite spirits. along with us. That little blue dot is going to take us back to the entrance. I want to go this way first because I believe this is going to take us where we're to. I think this tunnel continues through, if I remember right. And I believe that there is a save point on the other side. Actually, real quick here, since we have a mana potion left, and we do have the spell Urgent Heal. So I'm gonna real quick use that to heal myself, since we are out of potion. By the way, I don't think I mentioned it, but the flasks, so the healing potions and the mana potions, restore every time we go to every time we get to a save point. So part of planning out our routes and such is making sure that we have the resources to continue adventuring, as it were. I also love the fact that when you rest at a site of grace, it also removes all of the blood and gore.
Me? I'm searching for my purpose, given to me by my mother inside the Erd Tree, long ago, for the reason that I yet live, burned and bodiless. There is something for which I must apologize. I've acted the Finger Maiden, yet can offer no guidance. I am no maiden. My purpose was long ago lost.
And here we find the Church of Dragon Communion. Unfortunately, we do not have any dragon hearts yet, but these are faith-based incantations. They also have an arcane requirement, so I'm not planning on going hardcore into them. But those are, when I mentioned being able to have early game access to magic, that was one of the things that I was. So I am. It is a possibility, especially now finding out that the area that I thought was available with that artist shack is not. I think we're gonna head back. By the way, you can see here, we went through a tunnel on this side and came out on this island. We don't actually get to swim in this game. So, portals and tunnels will take us out to these island areas, or bridges in some cases. Like even down here as well, there's a bridge. So that is definitely going to be a thing we'll be keeping an eye out for as we go. Let's go ahead and warp back.
Oh, what are you doing here? You must leave this place. Wait, is that what I think it is? You got it back for me. My sewing needle. What made you go and do a thing like that? My mum was a seamstress, and that sewing kit was all I had to remember her by. I always wanted to be just like sweet old mum. Then I suppose I can't just curl up and die, can I? Thank you. You're very... I always wanted to be a seamster like my mum. And I suppose
Okay. So that's going to be the next step, as it were, along his quest. Actually, we're at 1,800 runes. So let's pop back down here quick and use those. Do we have any more? We don't. Okay. So I think this is just going to be enough for one level. Yeah, definitely. Okay. I think at this point, a couple extra points in vigor is going to go a long way. That's one of the things I put off for a long time last time, but we are starting to get to the point where I'm going to want to start. Well, I don't want to put too much in strength and dex because I don't know which way I'm going. As far as melee goes, I really want to be primarily faith based. Like right now we have a heal spell, but the like main faith based magic stuff is like dragon's breath and throwing lightning bolts and stuff. So it is very much going to be less of the it's not going to be the traditional cleric build. It's going to be a caster still. Okay. Well, there's a glowy skull. That's going to be a little bit more. Nope. Come on. Those pretty much always give golden rune 1s, which are 200 extra runes. Let's see. Well, I guess let's head back up to the gate front. Like I said, I was kind of hoping that we would have certain access to things before we got to this, or at this point. Namely, I was thinking that we would have access to our first lightning spell. It looks like we don't. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to see if we can run this gauntlet instead. We should be able to. By the way, the thing that crashing sound was a giant jumping down at us from above. This is going to be golden seed, which is awesome. That gives us another flask. So now we'll have, for now, 6 healing potions. That is a Storm of Wolves, which is one of my favorite random weird things that they decided to do. Sometimes a pack of wolves just drops out of the sky on you. This is the Storm Shack or the War Master's Shack? Stormhill Shack. We're gonna get our first Stone Sword key. We're gonna need a couple of those over the course of the run.
Been grafted? Everyone who came with me. They crossed the sea for me. They enticed by the one in the white mask, I suppose. Oh, you've come to be one with the spider. Well, that makes us two peas in a pod. But I don't have your courage. It's scary, you know, having your arms cut off, or legs, or your head. I want to be like everyone else, but I'm just too scared. I'm nothing but a craven. Oh, I know. Can you take this little one along with you? The poor thing deserves someone braver than myself. And the spirits look rather fondly upon you. It'll be glad of your company, I think, the little one. It was a pleasure to see you. Oh, can you pass on a message for me? If you see the little chrysalids in Stormvale Castle, tell them I love them. And that, despite my craven heart, I'm sure I'll be joining their club soon enough. I'm finally getting the hang of this whole pain thing, you know?
So, Roderica is one of the NPCs that I almost completely missed on my first play. She eventually turns up at the central area once you get access to it, but like I talked to her once and didn't realize that you can talk to her 3 times and get 3 different, like, so I didn't learn the jellyfish summon until much later. I didn't get all of the dialogue. I didn't understand her dialogue. One of the things that I, in general, didn't find out until a little further into trying. Whoa, what's that? Okay. Was that you had to talk to almost all of the NPCs multiple times. I saw that one, I just wasn't close enough, or wasn't far enough. Oh, there's a... Oh, that's just the ruin fragment from the thing. Another golden rune. Did that goat just try and attack me? Solomon, you should know better. Okay. So... Oops. We're going to continue on. There's one more save point with an NPC up here. And that's going to be our destination, as it were. Yeah, right there.
Not seen you before. Name's Bernard. Tarnished, just like you. Let me ask you something. Are you here in the lands between to take up the fight? Does your faith in the guidance of grace hold firm, despite the collapse of the Golden Order? Honest to a fault, I see. Such thoughts won't behoove you as a Tarnished. But there's nothing wrong with that. Any interest in bearing the torch of my battle arts? All I know is the sword. Picked up a fair few tricks in my time, too. Now's the time to pass them on. To a good Tarnished like you.
So we get the ability to buy art or Ashes of War from him, which can teach us skills. We are not going to get any right now.
In your boat, eh? Well, there's no rush. Knowledge of the arts can wait another day.
We will go ahead and stop at the Lost Grace. Trying to remember. Yeah. So this gives us access to two things. I'm not gonna actually go do them yet, but if you see this little circle on the map, this is an Everjail. Everjails are spots where you can fight kind of these little one-off mini bosses, and often that's a good way to farm a few runes, possibly get some items, and just kind of see where you're at. The other thing that we now have access to, the Warmaster Shack, is where I have done a lot of leveling in the course of playing this game. And this is why. There are giants. And I think next time we're going to start out by trying to fight a giant. We're probably going to go check out the Everjail and possibly a few other little like mini boss type enemies. And then we're gonna be seeing, based on that, whether we are ready to head into the castle or not. Now, we're not going to try and beat the castle yet, but there are, since I don't have access to the items that I'd mentioned, there are a few specific things that I want to try and get from in the castle. They are going to take a little bit of doing. We're probably going to run past a lot of stuff early on, but I think we can get through some of it at least. So yeah, I think that's going to be the plan for next. We're going to see if we can take giants down, try the Everjail. Technically, I think there's 2 Everjails we have access to. There's another one down. There's one down here. I thought there was one like right here too. Maybe I'm misremembering. Anyway, and then from there we will probably be headed to the castle. So, hopefully you're still enjoying. If you are, please give me a like and subscribe. Check out the other content on my channel. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comments. And as always, have a good one. We'll catch you next time.